Welcome back, everyone, to our final game of this series between CLG and Liquid. I mean, Game 5, we've already hit a couple of the things. We've talked about the history of these 4 games so far and what has developed in terms of the meta of these games.
Yeah.
I want to zero in on some of the players, then, that will be playing these champions as it develops in Champions Select. Let's start in the top lane with Darshan. You said it at the beginning of the day. He was going to be the X factor for this series, Kiwi. So in Game 5, what needs to happen from him?
I don't know. I don't even know what. I mean, he obviously has to play well, but I'm just thinking about what champion he's going to play well. There's no way Loco, he does have a brain, so there's no way Echo's going to. I think sorry to
You say that.
But bold statement. What if
there's no way
those get banned
Echo
now?
will go in. I think they learned
it's gonna
from
get-
Game 3 or 2 that they won't be cocky enough to let it through. So yeah, I think maybe we'll see like a Rise actually flex, and maybe he'll just go top. But Darshan really needs to perform, because if he's not, ahead, I feel like CLG kind of looks lost.
Just not Maokai. Yeah. Just not Maokai.
Not Maokai.
All right, but on the other side of that lane matchup, we have Lorlo Azael. So, again, considering that the Echo gets banned out this game, and we're not entirely certain what Darshan is going to pick, how can Lorlo pivot in terms of his champion pool, since he primarily plays the tanks?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like he doesn't have to change anything. It's Darshan that does.
Okay.
Darshan looks super uncomfortable on Maokai. Lorlo is a super solid tank player. He can play the Nautilus, he can play the Poppy, he can play the Maokai, and he's going to be comfortable. He's going to be at home. This is what he's been doing all season. It's his bread and butter. So for him, that's cool. He doesn't care what he gets. It's Darshan that has to do something. Lorlo does not have to solo carry his team. Darshan has to go big. He has to play something that's going to have more impact than he had last game.
All right, now outside of the top lane matchup, Freak, give me a player that you think is going to maybe have the largest impact on this game, could swing it for us.
I mean, one player that's definitely going to be important here is Aframu. It's like one of the biggest CLG shot callers. Is one of the big reasons that the bot lane is good for CLG in the first place. And when the end game carry often still does come down to Piglet, like Aframu can step up, keep the lane control coming down, like play something a little bit more aggressive so you can actually impact the lane. Like it's not like Braum is good into Bard in the first place. So I think if he plays one of those really good games, is maybe even the best support again in NA. Like this guy can take over the duo lane, can take over the game, shot call CLG to victory, and just play a good team game.
Yeah, we saw him banned off of the Soraka. Maybe we'll see him take a stab at the Bard and show Matt what's what on that champion. I mean, that's a playmaker. That's one of the champions you'd be looking for him to play if he is going to lead the team to victory. It's time now, though, to throw it over to the casters to see which team will continue their fight for the championship title.
Thank you very much, Dash. It has been quite a long day. 5 in Europe, now 5 here in North America to see who moves on to the finals. Does CLG get a chance to defend the championship? Or is Team Liquid going to shatter their curse and finally make it to finals for the first time ever?
Yeah, back before this became Team Liquid and they were cursed, there were 2 playoffs in a row where they 3-0'd CLG and knocked them out.
That's true.
Of the chance for finals. But obviously CLG is now the defending champions. The players are much different now. And I think the big question here is, what ban does Team Liquid drop, or do they let Echo through once again? Their bans last game were Gangplank, Graves, and Soraka. Or do they let Darshan play Echo again?
Well, they either let him play Echo or Graves at this point.
Yep, I think you gotta let him play Graves.
Yeah.
The Echo does get banned out. Relief from the crowd as well.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see him causing havoc.
Because we also don't know if he'll play Graves. This is one of those things where if you ban the same thing the entire series, sometimes it's good to switch it up towards the end. They found tremendous success from the last set when they dropped the Trist ban, but now they don't even do it. See, that's why you get the value ban. Now it's a denial pick attempt.
Exactly. So he takes it away because he's thinking Lorlo is not going to play Graves, so it doesn't matter either way.
I think this is fine. I think Lorlo will play Maokai.
Yeah.
I think this is actually a very good result.
Wow.
For Team Liquid for that ban to be dropped. The only tweak is if they flex that Poppy to the jungle or to the support.
Yeah.
Because while that's not the primary position for Poppy, Xmithy has played a Poppy jungle game, and we did see some support Poppy at the start of the split.
And look at this discussion it puts between Dardoch, Lorlo, and Loco Doco just behind him here. It seems like they have actually sorted it out in the end. Bard, Nautilus. They have lockup for a fight, that's for damn sure, but what else can they bring to the table? And that shows quite a bit to CLG here. They say, okay, Team Liquid wants to fight.
Well, it's Game 5. You have to pull out your best, your comfort right now for these guys and be able to start these fights. We haven't seen a lot of engage in this series except for that last game with the Bard, and Matt pulled it off perfectly. He's going to try to do it again.
Yeah, The Nautilus is the one that surprises me the most. He has fallen really far out of the meta after those nerfs to his Riptide. He lost 25 damage at max rank on his Riptide, and that's not just 25 damage because it has multiple rings of damage, so you're losing like 40 to 60 damage on a really low cooldown a lot of the time. Maximum damage is actually dropped by 50, so it is a very nerfed Nautilus against what is not yet a heavily nerfed Poppy.
Right.
Yeah. And it's honestly just base damages at that point. He's still just as tanky as he was before. He's still rather oppressive, and against Poppy, he isn't always the best champion to pick. Poppy's percent HP from the Q is going to be good, and also can stop the anchor from allowing him to escape.
Yep. They kind of keep the whole factor in that they can stop a fight or get the fight in their favor with a tempered fade or something like a Poppy hammer. It's not that side though this time.
And
Kindred, Morgana, locked in on either side.
Yeah, this gives us some more playmaking for CLG. Aphromu's Morg, throughout the years, has always been a massive playmaker for the team. The Black Shield is also really good. It's like the one thing that saves you from Bard Ultimate, pretty much, because you can actually deny the stasis effect if you have a Black Shield on someone.
Right. Team Liquid saying, let's try to get the same exact comp. Go.
Yeah, it is rather close, but of course they can't get the Echo being on red side.
Yeah.
That may have been their ideal composition because Team Liquid, they had their backs against the wall. They lose a game, they're out of playoffs, and they have to play for that third, fourth. They can't actually go after the championship.
Nobody wants that,
So,
right?
so they pulled out
Especially
pretty
not
much
the fans.
the stuff that they wanted to play and thought that this is their trump card, and they're going to just try to do it again so they don't end up in that third place for the third time in a row.
Yeah. Well, they've got to put up a good fight here. Counterlogic Gaming is the defending champions for a reason, even playing to such a high caliber with a changed-up roster coming into this split. We'll see what the final picks are for Counterlogic Gaming coming into Game 5. They have 4 seconds to lock them in, and they show their hand. Ryze and Lucian are the final picks.
It's a denial pick for the Lucian to keep it away from Piglet a little bit, I think, for sure. And games like this is where a lot of poise comes into play. What is your absolute best champion? Piglet's wanted to play Lucian into pretty much any matchup. Well, he can't now. The question will be, does he go to Caitlyn? Does he go to Callista?
Does he go to Vayne?
What does he do?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that he could play into this, but I think Sivir, Caitlyn are the two that come to mind right off the bat. If he does want to enable Matt even more,
I think Caitlyn would be a great pick here. It was the Karma-Caitlyn synergy he had first game. They know that well. They know the range well. Piglet has beautiful positioning in these fights. And it is like TL to leave that counter pick up to him. The Caitlyn will be the lock-in. He has a Nautilus on the front line. It's going to be hard to keep this Piglet safe, but hopefully they can do.
Well, AD carry safety has been paramount in this series, especially when you're looking at going against a Ryze who needs to close into Rune Prison distance to really get into you. The Caitlyn is going to be the safest from that, and both times an AD carry has had Caitlyn in the series, it has dominated, so I cannot disagree with that choice. And it's a little bit strange normally to have your AD carry pick saved for the very final pick of the series, but for these guys, it makes sense because Piglet is such a carry for this team.
exactly, and you want to give him a large advantage over Stixxay and try to give him a counter matchup here. And when I'm looking at these compositions, it's once again CLG, low wave clear, a lot of pick potential though. The Morgana for Aphromu, he's 3-1 in this split, only losing to TSM, and he's all about that roaming, all about that pick.
Yeah, the evolution of the champ selects in this series. Game 1, both teams, very poor initiation, great disengage. We just keep getting heavier and heavier into the initiation and into fighting. So this series is trending in the right direction to me.
As you stop getting less scared, you're like, okay, we felt them out. It's like, oh, we got to go. We're playing for more. Game 1, kind of test the water, then dive right in right now.
It's going to be amazing. One last time, head over to Twitter and weigh in on this series. Hashtag CLG win or hashtag TL win as they fight for their final spot in that finals matchup at Mandalay Bay. Loser goes for third, fourth, and nobody wants to go home with that prize. It's the one, that first prize that you want to grab the championship. CLG looking to defend that championship. Team Liquid looking to make it to their first finals. We're on the Rift. It is Game 5. There is no more Rift after this. They have to leave it all right here. TL on the red, CLG on blue side. Let's do this.
Obviously, they want to win this one. If they can win this to make it to the finals, it gives a chance for them to win the 2016 Spring Split, get their team logo hung in the studio, get their picture on the sidewall, go to the Midseason Invitational, and also get the most possible championship points to head to Worlds. Remember, Team Solo Mid qualified to Worlds last year because of their championship points, which were heavily because of that spring split victory. So this game has massive implications throughout the rest of the year.
And TL missed it because CLG won the finals. And then they got knocked into Gauntlet because of points and got knocked out of it by C9.
Yep, and C9.
So this could be revenge for TL against CLG, and we're seeing a level 1. The stun!
They weren't ready to follow up, but Xmithy using the refillable. If he's back on Fountain by 120, you're able to get back to everything. But usually at this point of a series, we see teams being very careful and holding off on doing things, but they are ready to get in each other's faces.
Oh yeah, and these guys are looking for fights this game. Xmithy switches his mastery choice. No strength of ages. Fervor of battle. It is time to fight. Matt looks like he is still riding that high from the last Bard game. Want to see the first Q he doesn't actually hit? Still waiting.
When your first one lands,
oh dear,
maybe
this
your
could be
second
the
one
trap.
does too.
Block against the wall. So much damage coming from Thunderlord's Bard in the early part of the game. And the harass they can put on here is huge. If they can keep this up, it means the lane is theirs in the bot lane, and it's already Piglet.
You have to be careful, though.
CLG traded back really hard. So if a binding, there, that's the first Q miss. Hot streak.
Afro,
ended. Afro goes,
Oh, the flash in. That's the ignite as well. So the kill pressure is even less there for CLG. Matt's going to have his cooldowns in a bit, but he doesn't have any way to connect the Cosmic Binding. And it is gloves off in the bottom lane, 2 minutes in.
He read him. Afromu walked up. You think that he's just going to throw the Q from that range?
Afro has done that before, and these teams have the same mindset right now. They know this entire series, like the first game was a little bit about late game team fighting, but games 2, 3, and 4 swung off of huge early or mid game plays. So both of these guys, they don't want to wait for the other team to make a play on them. They want to make the play and take the series for themselves. That's why we see Matt setting the trap in the Tri Brush. That's why we see Afromu flashing for a Dark Binding, blind in a lane, and essentially exposing themselves for a later gank. But Piglet knew that was also the case and flashed away from it. That was amazing.
And both teams know, if you get a finger, you're taking the whole arm, and you're getting the mental game as well.
Tear it off. Especially this early.
If you end up getting the lead early, you're going to be able to just snowball. You get the mental edge in it too. Your nerves actually start going away, and you start getting hypey, and you start thinking, this is where we do, this is where we close it out and make the finals.
I love that both of them said, okay, let's go. Because whoever loses that is basically forced to switch your lane. You can't go back up against that. It's going to be a huge lead for the other AD carry and support.
Yeah. Stixxay has one right now.
Summoner spell-wise, Afromu did lose one, but they gained the experience advantage because they pushed Piglet back in the lane. And then we also have to keep in mind the way these team compositions are structured. It's not about the CLG split push. Darshan is most likely just to be in a neutralized matchup between Poppy and Nautilus. Maybe a little bit of early game impact could be seen, but there's not too much of a fallback pattern for either one of these teams. Slightly higher wave clear on Team Liquid, but it's a team fight for team fight team composition, and that's why these early leads can have an even larger impact.
I love that we just get to watch this bottom lane. Usually it's the junglers. Where are they going to go next? Oh, they didn't choose the gank. It has been pure action so far, and I'm sure it's going to keep the AD carry on their toes to start things up. We may see a path followed by Xmithy here down to the bottom, but there's already a ward placed by TL back there.
Yeah, I mean, CLG doesn't want to have a repeat performance of what happened last game. If you flip the map, that's exactly the gank he went for in the first game. Waited for a recall. Sorry, the game 4. Waited for a recall in the brush that was warded and ended up giving up a number of kills. But recalls, game's still even. Darshan.
Big guy, but just missed the wall. Actually, it's been a good push for Lorlo trying to get Darshan into the turret, but Darshan actually did a very nice job farming underneath and now has that lane reset. Little love to the bot here for Dardoch.
Yeah. They're going to go for a tower dive here. TL, they go for tower dives all the time. Phoenix backed off already. He's looking for the back, or is he going to try to TP into this?
Essentially right there, Dardoch had flash, and he was hoping that Afromu would use his black shield on someone so he could unburrow onto the next target. Afromu was patient. He knew that it would still be a dangerous turret dive, and Dardoch has to back away.
You have to watch out in this top side, though. Xmithy marked Lorlo. Lorlo doesn't have TP. He has flash, but he already used Steadfast Presence, though.
Yeah,
make sure you're on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, you have to use Steadfast Presence reactively.
Yep.
There's not a lot of things that actually stop Nautilus hook. Even if you Poppy ultimate him away, he will still come back in. But Steadfast Presence will stop him.
Well, that gank will give Darshan time to clear away the Krugs. They're splitting the map, even though they're standard lanes as far as junglers are concerned. It's been one of the pattern of junglers this season is every time a gank happens, a jungler will just, instead of trying to counter gank, just go in.
Oh,
Afro and Stixxay still haven't shopped though, so they have to back away from this turret.
Making the time look very opportune with those bindings down, but it looks like they're just going to be grabbing some turret pressure
They want to
here.
go back for those minions because they have jungler backup.
Exactly. They have the jungler coming up here. He's actually going to sit off on the wing so he's out of Rek'Sai detection and make sure that if Dardoch does go in, then the counter gank is available.
And now they got him on a ward.
Yep. As soon as this wave crashes, I think they're just going to go after turret damage.
Okay,
So they're actually going to dive.
Huhi's TP's down.
Yeah, just
Darshan and Lorlo's is up here, but I don't think they're going to make any moves. Well, Lorlo is moving away from a push lane, but it looks like it's only to ward. Very touch and go for these. Do they want it? Do they not?
So tense.
Yeah, a lot of it was because Stixxay was trying to wait for enough gold for BF Sword. He finally does. He's able to go back and get a BF Sword and a pink, but essentially the really early recall from Piglet, he bought a rejuvenation bead for a little bit of health regen in lane, and he actually used that to bully off Stixxay after. Oh my god, and he still hasn't gone back as far as Afromu is concerned.
Piglet was already backing, though. Piglet had already been like, you know what, I'm not even going to go for a dive. It's not even in my mind. It's time to back off. Maybe would have gotten a kill there. Or a summoner.
Very surprised that, well, Piglet did go low, but there was still that ignite and flash up very early when Afromoon went hard, so they weren't able to work off of that in the bot lane. Things have kind of fizzled out. Now here as we look at the top, there was a roam coming in from Huhi, but it seems like they're calling everything off right now. It seems if it doesn't feel good at all, don't even touch it. Just stay away.
Yeah. You always have that kind of intuition where you're just like, no, it's been too long. We haven't seen them for 5 seconds. He could be.
Yep. Then somebody's like, maybe we can get it. If I hit this, 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 and this, then we'll be good.
If you
right?
force it and you make it that type of mechanical play, a lot of the times it will go wrong, and then that tilts you pretty hard.
Get me off this ride.
Yeah, you can't force it.
Even up, 8 minutes in, 11.2 on either side. And what aggression we've seen in this early game as well. Just nobody's been able to capitalize off of anything.
It's the most touch and go 0 kill at 8 minute game I've seen for quite some time. You got the mono-stacking items on Huhi in the mid lane, so he's actually doing pretty well against Phoenix, although you would expect him to be down in CS. Karma's a very impressive laner, and again, Lorlo's just able to walk away from these ganks, no problems.
This is actually concerning. Watching Darshan on this Poppy makes me wonder about his ability on this champion in comparison to
this
the
is
others.
actually a dangerous 2v2 for them to be taking, because Karma is on the way as well as Dardoch.
He's got flash. He actually gets a big hit there. He's going to be safe for now. Phoenix is there. He throws in one, puts on the focus resolve, but it does not lock down. Xfinity flashes in. Soul Flare kill going over to Phoenix. And they're going to start backing out of this one. A very quick rotation going all the way up the lane, and that wasn't even a teleport for Phoenix.
In Game 5, Phoenix roams up to the top lane. First blood to Team Liquid.
And deviating from the normal play pattern is something that really throws people for a loop in Game 5. Phoenix doesn't really roam often. It's shown by his kill participation as well as his incredible best-in-class CS per minute. Well, this game his CS per minute is actually down a little bit, but he gets the roam, which could be critical in deciding this matchup. Getting the kill onto Xmithy, unlocking Dardoch's confidence, and Team Liquid was ready to go.
Oh my word. Playing around teleports as well. As I said, Phoenix was down, so they probably thought he wouldn't be going anywhere.
Matt is level 6. He's looking for an ultimate to possibly set something up. With this combination, you get the ultimate down, you get the Temper Fate down, you put a trap right under that person during the ultimate. It'll arm by the time that it's up.
Oh yeah.
Boom. Ton of damage afterwards, and you can take them out. But Afromu's not even 6 yet, so Afromu can't even make a play in return. It does look like they're calling Dardoch down here too. Yeah,
The Caitlyn Bard lane has definitely pulled ahead. Stixxay and Afromu's Lucian Morg.
Oh my god!
Done into a
he stuns out Afro. They are able to go for Stixxay. The flash from Matt, but he gets hit. One auto from Xmithy went over. The teleport as well is coming in. Here is Phoenix once again. And Darshan's going to find himself in a bad spot here. Only one more minion to move forward. And they may just back off here or look for Dragon.
They may. It's a 1v4. Rise would be behind them. They
I think
do
you
not
can
want
turret.
Darshan to escape. They could go for the turret, or they could go for more. Darshan has a lot of health. This is touch and go.
That Bomby's
still has
Cinder.
aggro!
Bomby's is killing Lorlo. He got way too close to CLG for the Sunfire damage. And now they are getting taken out. Very big error there by TL to stay too long and not have a focus on one objective or the other. They lose one and lose a little bit of ground.
A great call on that Riv. The Bomby Cinder for Lorlo was just taking aggro over and over again. He wanted to get the turret, but then he actually attacked Darshan.
Yeah.
And it was just completely back and forth. Smithy has no mana, but Dardoch?
That's the Bard. Is it Matt? Are they playing the long con here? Or he just gives him some hot cocoa. He's good.
Yeah, Game 5s in playoffs are an experience of their own. This is going to be the first experience for Lorlo, Dardoch, Huhi, and Stixxay, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult than your average game, and you can see the stress that gets put on the decisions here. Team Liquid, with clear minds, they probably would have just backed off and taken that turret, threatening the collapse from Huhi, but they overstay a little bit. Now, do they get something back?
Mid lane's going to be pushed here by Phoenix. It will require respect from CLG, so it looks like they'll be forced back for now. We'll see this dive once again and how it just went a little wrong.
That stun right there. Ulti onto Hafromu to save him for later.
Yeah. And then the Bard ultimate was also perfect because it went past the guy who had Black Shield. Unfortunately, he does tick down. But Lorlo teleported in, got it, and then Phoenix teleports in as well. And as far as diving Darshan, they either go now or never. But they delay a little bit. They're backing away. They see Rise on the backside. Lorlo, you kind of want the aggro to be on him, but he was trying to clear it or go for X50. It just sticks on him the whole time. The turret heats up. It does more damage with successive auto attacks. Darshan gets the hit on him, and then Team Liquid has to bail out.
At that point, you even go to the right. You don't drop turret aggro by going to the left into two members because they can just focus you out. So it's just a series of events right there, decisions by Lorlo that were not optimal. Oh my god.
Matt is so on fire right now.
Hard life.
These are the types of experiences for people to watch in Game 4 and Game 5 to say, I want to be like that guy. I am only going to play Bard for the rest of my life.
Well, he's a
I'm a Bard main.
He's a rookie too, and that's the thing is there's always that rookie aspect. How are they going to perform under pressure? Well, it doesn't seem to affect any of these guys.
It's also into consideration. You got to think Stixxay is allowing these angles to happen. Matt is super finding them, but as an AD carry, you can easily position yourself to stay away from these. That's what makes it even better, is that Matt can continuously find them no matter what. 13 minutes on the clock. They don't seem too sure about it, and they all stick together on the call and head out.
Really like the TP there from Huhi. It's an extension of the turret dive that Team Liquid tried to execute. They burned both of their teleports. Huhi then walked down. So we're not seeing sync teleport cooldowns here. We're seeing a lot of walking.
That's very true.
To try and make plays. And this is a really good punish on that summoner spell advantage. CLG gets a dragon for that teleport. Absolutely worth it.
Been a lot of commotion in this bot lane. As we look around, 102 for Darshan versus Lorlo's Nautilus. Nautilus still be a big beast once he gets some items. Bit of a discrepancy in the mid lane as well, as the AD carries are quite close.
Yeah. 14 minutes into this game. This is definitely one of the closest, if not the closest games of the series.
Yep.
And this is where a lot of leadership is going to come into play. Aframu and Darshan are arguably some of the best shot callers in North America. You hear so much about High, but you hardly ever hear about Aframu. He has consistently been the one calling these map movements for CLG. Then you look over Team Liquid, and they have young shot callers, Dardoch and Matt, but they have been steadily improving. This is the type of game where you really make a name for yourself.
Yep, you absolutely get tested here. Pressure is on, 5 games in. You're going to be able to make the same things happen or take a complete 90-degree turn, be able to change things up and call an audible right away. Looks like Liquid likes this composition. And with Matt, their audible is pretty much engage when we can. So far, it's worked in the bot lane. And they're going to start heading back down towards bot. Get Piglet a little more farmed and start things up. For the side of CLG, they've been able to control the map, get Darshan going. Maybe it's another game for them to do that. 15 minutes in, very, very even. Well, we've yet to see anybody grab either of those advantages.
Back to the scene of the crime. This turret's already really low. No Black Shield!
Yeah, but he can't get chained for a stun.
He can't!
Oh my god!
They timed it perfectly on the end there. It could be going for the kill still. A little hard by Dardoch. They're going to find Phoenix. Oh, the soul flare! He flashed into it as well! Unfortunate play there.
Darshan's in
They
the back.
try to pick something back up. CLG goes for broke on this one. They throw the full team in. Piglet goes down, but yes, that's a shutdown actually. It's gonna be Dardoch that follows. An incorrect look by me. CLG still picks up the kills. I thought it was a 1-for-1 trade there, but it's 2 for 2 now.
Are you
Looks
kidding
like they're
me?
gonna keep it going. You gotta remember, that's the AD in trade, and she can keep throwing those auto attacks. Darshan through, finds the kill on. Can the team follow up though? He actually closed a huge gap there and is forced to pull out. Got what he wanted though in the kill. Brings it to 5-5. This game is quiet and then it explodes.
It's the loudest quiet game I've ever seen, Rip. These guys, go ahead. You're absolutely right about having lulls, though. This one was just a play where Team Liquid goes, and you don't see the Bard stun, but after he walks towards the minion line, the black shield expires as the stun hits.
Oh, because he hit him. He hit him with a meep.
Yep.
Yeah. But then the dive continues, right? And the teleports are coming back off sync. Flashes directly back from a line skill shot means he's still going to die to it.
Yeah. And this is where Darshan comes up. Dardoch decides to turn, flashes in to knock up. Doesn't save Piglet, and then it becomes a 3-on-3. Low HP, back and forth. Lamb's Respite stopped the Soul Flare from landing another kill for Phoenix. And then Matt walks a little too far forward here. He actually got body blocked on Phoenix a couple times there.
And Darshan with the maximum gap close. Flashes, heroic charges a minion for distance just to get in range for the final shot of the kill. That, 3 for 2, makes this 1,000 gold game a 500 gold game.
Yeah, and his Iron Ambassador actually jumps back to him, so he has the shield to get out as well.
4-0-0 Poppy for Darshan. It was a little bit
It was shaky.
questionable in lane, but he's now opened up a 25 CS advantage in what looks like about a 2,000 gold lead. 1,600 over Lorlo.
And TL, they're getting to these turrets, they're getting great dives, but every time they're at these turrets, they try to get the kills, not the objective. And that's what they're greeting for right now. They're trying to crush CLG, but CLG are not having any of it.
What they tried to do in game 4, which really snowballed into victory, CLG has been much more ready for those turret dives.
Afro was running around with a black shield on, trying to snap those traps and get rid of them. It doesn't work that way anymore.
Right, there's that timer between each one. You gotta be very careful. The TP top and no defense from the turret means it will be Liquids. They're committing a lot here.
Yeah, this might end up being traded because who he's in the bottom lane.
Yep.
Yeah, Rise is able to take that for himself. And as this game moves on, it does seem like CLG is absorbing Team Liquid better and better right there. That's a Bard ultimate that did push him off a turret, but never even moved towards a turret dive, and that gold lead is now at 200. It's going to extend a little bit if this Rift Herald is a fight, but once again, CLG is catching up to him.
Get in there.
CLG, though, pulls ahead ever so slightly.
It's reactive play from Liquid now. CLG is able to activate whatever they want, and it seems like Liquid is trying to figure out where to go next. Now it's behind door number 1 in the mid lane. CLG will find out soon as they start to push their wards forward.
So we saw a very similar composition from TL last game, and we were talking about their damage and how their damage is actually rather low unless they started snowballing it at the beginning.
Right.
Well, it's a 4-0 Darshan on this Poppy right now. He is incredibly tanky, and you have to keep him in mind in all of these fights. He's going to be very hard to take down.
And there's nothing like a Trundle in this game that can shred the Poppy armor and magic resist. Now, Poppy gets tankier than most champions because she gains percentage armor and MR, and then gains even more when she's low health. So as long as Darshan continues to build tank instead of getting greedy with the damage item, he can be the one-man front line that they can't even dive past if he has his steadfast presence up. So it's getting actually really dangerous for Team Liquid. They've been going for the plays. They haven't quite worked as well as they want, but they do need to keep the tempo up because of that eventuality of a super tank pop.
Well, CLG feels confident enough to go ahead and back pretty much in the eyes of Liquid. This is going to give away Dragon 20 minutes into the game. Just a few minutes from here, a handful of minutes. Last game had ended in favor of Team Liquid. It just goes to show you the change in pace here from game to game. Baron is going to be up and ready for play in 4 seconds. Like I said, low damage comps really not able to fly at that just yet, but it is going to prove pretty useful for CLG when they need to get there and cause TL to be more reactive once again. 32.9 to 31.7 here. Chronologic Gaming again starts to build themselves out a lead. We'll see how they can work that advantage as it looks like they're starting to hover towards this last outer top turret.
And Huhi is actually still splitting in the bot lane despite not having his teleport up for a little bit longer here. It's still rather risky. Every time this happens, you have to keep in mind, Bard ultimate could catch somebody, and then he can't answer.
It's a really good bit of damage from Lorlo.
If he ulties, it
Yeah,
means they really
they're
want
going
this.
all in with this one. Bard ultimate could be flying in over the top.
That gets a flash. That gets
Only
a
root.
lot of flashes. Very flashy play. Ace in the hole is going to be picked up for Piglet, the guy they need to get going.
Yeah, they got to watch that bot tier 2 turret, though. What are they going to get off of this? Because mid is being shoved in by Stixay. It's going to take them a long time.
Baron off of this?
Oh, my God.
You lose a second tier, you might
You'll
lose a
lose
second
two.
tier
I mean,
mid as well.
Huhi's got his teleport, though. They do not want to give up a 20-minute Baron. COD is collapsing on this right now. Team Liquid,
I think TL
Dardock's
think they got
smite,
pulled
Dardock's
off.
smite is down. They should and won't take this
It's a
fight.
bait.
They kill Afro right away. They kill Xmithy after the Lamb's respite goes down. Huhi is trying to be that machine gun mage, but it's the flash in from Dardock. The playbook coming out from these guys once again. And a great dodge by
Oh, there's
Phoenix,
traps.
shutting down the spell reel coming in from Huhi. And they dance around with the defiant speed from Phoenix and take the fight over CLG.
And TL on the back foot. The map looks like it's not in their favor at all. And a beautiful bait into that Baron pit.
Those types of calls take a lot of guts, especially in a game like this, because you know if that doesn't go well, everyone says, oh my God, they threw it Baron.
Yeah.
But you can't care about that when you're trying to win the game, and they go for it. They know they had a kill already onto the carry Darshan. That's most of COG's goals, so they know even in a 4v5, they can take a little bit of damage from Baron. Karma gives him a big shield on the way as they're running out, and even though Matt takes a whole bunch of damage, the rest of Team Liquid can funnel out of the Baron pit, and then COG's actually the one's caught at the end of the fight.
Yep. Dardock flashes in for the follow-up there. Huhi had to use his flash to get over the trap line that was here. So he used it at the beginning of the fight. Now he can't get out. Ah! I'm literally trapped.
They got real excited for Matt on that one. Culling, a few other things used for him, and the majority of the fight was bunched up, ready to take that damage.
Yeah, if you don't get that fight just perfect, they stall you out, they get 1 or 2 turrets on CLG's side, and Darshan still had TP. So as soon as he was up, he was going to TP in. So it had to be that decisive now call from TL as soon as Darshan was down. They had to not flinch in it, and they did it perfectly.
And off of that, they have both teleports up. Huhi's was used there, so there's more plays to possibly be made on this one as CLG really, like we said, it's got to be a 90-degree turn to pull the game back in your favor, and they did it right there.
Yeah, all of that play, though, came from Team Liquid controlling Darshan, who is the gold leader on CLG. Now Darshan is off on the side, and he still does have his teleport. So the fact that Huhi is grouped with their second teleport kind of nullifies that double TP advantage, unless Team Liquid is going to set up a 1-3-1, which they are not right now. Instead, they're trying to siege with the Power Spike Karma, who just completed the Death Cap, and the Infinity Edge, which just finished on Caitlyn.
Exactly, and he's level 12, so he can put down 4 traps and just completely section off this area on the turret. Caitlyn pretty much tells you where they're going to be sieging. Give you one guess.
Yeah.
There's that Infinity Edge Hurricane already as well. And Piglet always
Very hard to defend.
very focused on making sure he's the guy getting shots on the turret. There were 2 right there. Whenever he can, he gets 1 or 2.
Darshan's coming up from the side.
Yeah. And notice how COG is not defending the turret in a standard way. The Caitlyn traps are part of that because they don't want their path blocked. But it's also because of the Bard ultimate. They don't want to get trapped too heavily under the turret. That's the power of Caitlyn, though. He landed 1 headshot proc on him, got another normal shot to ace in the hole, and Stixay has to go off. Plus, they get one in the split push.
If TL get this mid turret, then they jump to about a 3,000 gold lead. Right now, they're up about 1.5k. They'll jump to about 2.3. It's about 800 gold worth. But yeah, they evened up the turrets. There they go.
I think this is
2,000.
when it gets scary, when Piglet gets going, when Phoenix gets going. You have 2 targets you immediately need to shut down in a fight.
They chunked out Afro Moon. They immediately put assist me pings all over the Baron. They have the Scuttler. They're denying the vision. More baits.
That
Their
TP's
pink
there.
works. Yep, Lorlo can easily TP. He could also stop Darshan from TPing, which is actually an even more valuable play because he'd be trading his inferior gold to Darshan's. Team Liquid is definitely looking to bait this one instead of do it, and that's going to be really tough against COD, who have double boards. Who he's caught, though.
That's the smite. It's going to
Eno
keep
has
him in
the flash.
range. Another TP. Huhi goes down. The team's going to have to leave
lot of
him.
damage.
They give him Lamb's respite. That may be something they need to go to try to get the Baron. That's Huhi down. A lot of AoE damage they're going to need in this confined pit area.
And Darshan is walking over all the way from the bottom lane. It seemed like Huhi had a lot of damage, and maybe that was a fight that CLG would want to take, but they do not. He is here now. Team Liquid is still a little low, and it would be a 4v5. Still dangerous.
Well, as soon as he's up, though, he has TP. If they stall this
Another
for long
flash.
Yeah, 25 seconds. Team Liquid, I think they have to bail out of this
can't
one.
do
They
it.
get the kill. No need to get overly aggressive.
Uh-oh.
He's all right. He's all right.
All right, all right.
What a game, though.
Yeah.
This is what you want in
Oh.
Game 5. You have the first 4 games kind of being traded back and forth, pick and ban adaptations, some really one-sided games as well. Then Game 5, both teams switch it up, and then also play the closest, most competitive game of the series.
We had the Tristana bans coming in, then left up, then a ban maybe they didn't need to do throughout the season.
Graves
or throughout
ban.
the series, rather.
Obviously, they picked the right one to drop. They dropped
Right.
the Graves ban, and then it's Poppy
sure.
first pick for Darshan. It has been rather good in his hands, but up
A lot of
40 CS. But tank versus tank is not the same type of matchup that we used to see in the top lane that you could crush somebody in.
small changes and little evolutions throughout the series for both teams.
Yeah, also, if you were to think of just the overall goal distribution, I think it is more favorable for Team Liquid. They have 4 kills on their 2 main carries, whereas CLG has the 4 kills on their tank. You take the 2 carries over the 1 tank any day of the week.
Yes, please.
It depends on the tank.
Unless it's Echo, I guess. Echo might be the only one. But even against Echo, I feel like 2 carries for 1 tank is never fair.
Well, it depends. Is it the same amount of kills?
Yeah, I know, right? So obviously it's more.
Oh, just the chunk.
Oh, Boogie.
He has flash.
Oh, flash the pop-up, gets the shield. The lock doesn't happen from the dredge line.
Stixay?
Oh my god! How much damage was that?
A lot.
The Soul Flare absolutely destroying Stixay. He was toying with fire there and got deleted.
Oh, Smithy on
The
Piglet.
team, can they hold this? That was a moment that had or could not happen for CLG. Matt's getting taken down very low, but he's not necessarily the one that TL needs to win this fight. They're going to keep going with their damage dealers. There is the focus resolve. It does not lock down to Darshan. Wow. And they're going to keep going.
Words get really hard. Pressing buttons gets really hard too. Smithy didn't use Lamb's Respite. He thought he was going to kill Piglet with the last charge of his E, and it didn't kill him. It didn't execute him, and then he went down instead. So Smithy not able to come up big on this Kindred that he's playing offensively, like we said at the start. Has Runeance Hurricane, doesn't even have Ma yet.
Stixay is leaving base with 1,300 gold, which tells me he's saving up for a BF sword, but I think it is definitely time for him to build a Hex Drinker. He needs to be able to live through what just happened to him in the last fight. But he's trying to go big with some defense, with some offensive items, and is thinking he's going to be able to reactively dodge it next time. I think that is another big risk to take, but you have no time to think in a
Here
game
comes
like
TP.
this. Baron going once again for Team Liquid.
What is the trap line like? What is that?
It's a 5v5 in the Baron, but they have to peel out. Bartle misses.
my
Now
word.
it's really dangerous.
At this point, the tickling now coming in from Lucian. Hammer's going to miss.
Not a big fan of that trap line either. It didn't look like Liquid actually set up appropriately for this Baron. It looks like more of just another bait. I think TL just keep going back to it for the threat of they will do the Baron.
Yep.
And as soon as you cross a certain line, they're actually just going to turn on you. We've seen it get down to about 4,000 HP, and they still pull off of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Don't wanna
continual
take the risk.
over and over. This is one of the core shot calling moves when you have an advantage or you're looking to force fights. Draw them into the Baron, fight. Draw them into the Baron, fight. And they're waiting until they get that game-changing team fight if they can get the right Bard ultimate, and they haven't been punished yet with the disengage.
Oh, focus
Karma Shield,
resolve.
they want to go, but Black Shield stops it.
And with Bard, it's so easy to bait this over and over again because you're almost never in a bad position. You have Caitlyn for the traps to set up the siege, keep clearing out mid lane so they have to push it back and then go back to Baron. And then you do this. You magical journey back there. You magical journey out. Set up that line.
It looks real fancy, but it actually hasn't given them much yet. They're setting up the trap line
They're
ever
getting
so
tired.
slowly.
They're getting tired,
They're
Jack.
gathering frequent journey miles. They're going to be able to use those. You upgrade, you get more stuff, core items, spikes, everything. You know about it. It's coming up on 30 minutes.
Your
Don't worry.
penguin gets a pillow, you know,
Yeah, there you go.
hot cocoa.
Yes.
Hot cocoa and everything.
So Stixay just built the BF sword and a Wrath Elixir. That would have been enough gold for a no magic mantle, so he's really banking on the sustain and the damage for the next team fight.
He's getting singled out.
He is getting singled
Very.
out. How many times have we seen Team Liquid look at Baron? They started yet again.
Get the blue trinket.
3 blue trinkets on CLG. Like, they're not going to let Team Liquid do this without being seen.
And then once again, they don't want to take the risk. They want to go in.
Tempered Fate behind the team. They have to consider that didn't hit anybody. CLG is free to roam on this, and TL's splitting. But that's so Dardoch can look to get a flank in. They are going to pull back and gather up.
Yeah, but they don't actually have the inside track on mid anymore for the first
Right.
time since this dance started. So TL has to go the long way around. They're going to lose this mid turret.
Yeah, they're also down a Bard ultimate because they keep taking these shots and missing ever so slightly. So CLG really dancing this one out expertly, even though Team Liquid is continually making CLG make tough decisions. And CLG is making the tough decisions properly.
Rotato potato over and over again.
That is it. Round and round and round we go.
Who gets caught first? Nobody knows. That might not be Piglet. Mikhail's out for him now as we continue to build up items. Piglet's actually going for that Bloodthirster so he can get even more aggressive.
It's a banner of command for Afromu. So they love the 1-3-1,
Yep.
but now one's a minion.
No, I think that's exactly what they want to do in this one. With how much attention Team Liquid's putting on the Baron, if you start a banner push in the bottom lane and they're trying to dance for 2 minutes, you're not going to be able to do that. Scrying Orb yet again. Version 15 Baron bait, let's go.
I don't believe you, Liquid. I don't believe you're going to do it.
Oh, Darshan does, though.
Darshan, Steadfast Presence is off. Smithy in the back line. He'll be safe as well.
Oh, boy.
Nice ultimate. Piglets
Should be able to get back.
isolated.
Things calming down once again. That temper fade's down, so TL still has to be careful.
Oh my
CLG, the fact that they can keep stopping this, I believe it's definitely working in their favor.
You think that someone has to change the cycle.
Oh, Stixay.
Because the cycle is repeating itself, and CLG is very slowly getting ahead. Team Liquid is banking on the fact that they can land a crucial skill shot, but CLG, they're trying to change the
TP
cycle.
home guard.
Flash in.
That's the mantra Defiance going out. We have Dardoch going very low. Lorlo's not taking too much damage, and Matt is actually holding 2 at bay right now, so they can't get in. Darshan goes in by himself, but only taking about a
Piglet.
quarter of his health.
Piglet has
This
so
fight
much damage right now.
back and forth, and they just can't get enough damage to stick here. Everybody's able to move out and get themselves back in. The Guardian Angel on Huki means they're not taking him down very soon, and nobody falls here 32 minutes in. They just can't find the kill.
And these players are under so much stress. I just checked my Fitbit and my heart rate is up right now. What are they going through right now? It is so tense, and he finds 2!
That's going to be the ult. Can Lorlo hit the hook? Oh, he turned to go the other way. It was the second thought, but he gets the flash Riptide. He's going to get the kill. Finally, an opening coming through. Both supports are down. What can they do?
What's the opening? It's 4v4. They have teleports up right now. Baron bait, number 23. Let's go, Team Liquid. They're doing it without the support.
The
No
opening
part
is
else.
what you make it.
They want to rush this one down. Maybe Stixay's a little bit low on
Who he's
mana,
gonna
but
TP?
this is relentless.
There's going to be a few
Okay.
traps.
On to Smithy!
Blasford Smithy. He's going in. Lamb's Respite is up to be used. Dardoch very low. Focused Resolve locks down Huki.
Oh!
And that's going to be Piglet.
Stixay!
Huge going down. He wasn't even able to get his summoner off. And now they're going on to Lorlo. Lorlo goes down. CLG is taking this one into their favor. Finally. It's been a back and forth game, but they finally stopped the repetition in its tracks.
And Piglet ended up getting killed during the Lamb's respite from Smithy, and then Stixay charges out of it, and he gets picked off himself.
Yeah, that shield from Phoenix onto Dardoch
Oh.
was way more than Stixay expected on the back of that fight. And I didn't quite get to see it, but I think he got a little bit unlucky on his crits at the very end of that. Either way, we're still only 800 gold different, and because the kills are traded back and forth, no one can actually get that Baron. So when is the Banner of Command minion coming in?
I don't know
This
if
is
he's
actually
used
a
it.
game where you want the Zerat Portal Banner to break this 5-man cycle of Baron, but we're not seeing it, so it's an endless cycle of fights at Baron.
Steps on the trap, gets Smithy there, not able to blow him up because the team is still just a little bit too far behind. Dardoch off to the left.
And
then
Stixay goes huge here. Piglet,
Oh, man.
yeah,
Yep.
looks like he got CC'd right there, but then the knockup from Dardoch while he was shielded from Phoenix basically makes Stixay 100-0 on the backside of the fight. If Stixay lives there and kills Dardoch, COG can take the Baron.
Yep.
But those incredibly close moments can be series-defining at this point.
It still didn't give anybody any type of advantage. We are dead even at gold 34 minutes into this game. And I want to look at Smithy really quickly because I don't think he even has... Yeah, he's got 3 stacks of Kindred right now, so he's still not even that powerful as Kindred. The Runan's Hurricane is usually for when you have like 5 stacks, 6 stacks, and you're having a really good game.
And this is also going to be one of these games. It's a defining moment for CLG as well, who's been defined as a split-push team and a Darshan carry.
Yep.
Their backline damage dealers are the change from last season. They no longer have Pobelter and Doublelift back there, and those are the guys in standard team fights that deal the majority of the damage. This is when Huhi and Stixay need to prove themselves and defend CLG's championship. If they cannot perform in this game, they cannot defend their championship. And they're doing pretty well so far, but it's still anyone's game.
And they're up against the 2 veteran members from Team Liquid. One, a former world champion, and the other, this guy has pretty much the best play of the NALCS with the Azir kills
Yeah.
against
I mean,
this team.
In that sense, the positions are swapped for the veterans returning and kind of the rookies on the team.
It's a
You
mismatch.
have to face up against the guy that was there last year.
Oh, Bard ulti, this one's good.
That's on Alframu. The chance for TL to come back here. CLG just made a gigantic push with that last fight, and if they get
Darshan!
another one, they take a very nice lead. Piglet with free DPS from the outside takes Darshan out of the fight. Is the Riptide Dredgeline coming in? Dredgeline misses, and they cannot follow up with any more of that fight. CLG still very much respecting TL's fight here as they make their way around the map. Darshan low almost gets taken out for backing in a very poor spot.
Yeah, he has TP though, so I don't know how long Team Liquid can actually stay here. TP flank wards become a huge problem up against this Poppy. Sweeping on the way out, and that isn't their scuttler though.
Hey, guess what? They're going to Baron again, guys. Clearing out the pink wards.
Seen this.
It hasn't hurt them yet though.
It hasn't helped them either, is the thing. It's
It will.
gold. It's just
will
extending the game. Yeah, it basically means whoever wins or loses a fight in a large fashion, now the death times are getting longer, will win the series.
Wait a minute. They just knew they got damage onto Dardoch with his ult up or not. They're going to be able to start this with a big damage lead.
Yeah, both TPs are up for Team Liquid, so they can easily come in to stop this one.
Dardoch.
Smithy actually got really low off the Baron.
Void Rush was used all the way into CLG's side of the
flanking.
jungle. They're going to be able to flank this one out completely. It wasn't for the Baron. It was to get the flank on. They're onto Xmithy. Lamb's respite is down, but he's the only one that can stay in, and he'll be going down. Matt falls. That's Stixay going down as well. And Team Liquid are in the middle of the fight, but they're also in very big health bars of CLG. A double kill coming in for Hugi is being huge right now. And it's Darshan, 1v1 onto Phoenix. The health bar's so low, the Defiant Shield saves Dardoch as they take down Lorlo.
Oh my god. Hui comes up huge there. Xmithy as well.
This game is going to give everyone heart attacks. We're still like 300 gold different from this game. 13 kills to 16. No one has gained a decisive advantage, and what looked like a disastrous play for CLG turned into something that was okay.
If you press the wrong button one time, you could cost the entire game. You have to be on point. Aframu goes down early, and then Lorlo, there isn't enough damage here to actually blow up Xmithy in time, and he gets the Lamb's respite off. They throw it at Stixay afterwards.
And I think a big thing about this fight that made Team Liquid so confident was the early kill on Aframu. But then the ultimate that pushed Piglet out of the fight really delayed his entrance. So Huhi then flashes in to get a root on Piglet. Darshan then stends him against the wall. And guess what? Baron's happening again. Back to live.
Where's Dardoch?
They don't have Piglet.
It is a 50-50 smite on the board. That's going to be the hammer. And it is shocking. Over. It throws back Matt. Remember, Lorlo just
they
came
blocked
back
Dardoch.
up. Lorlo's TP is down. They're fighting 4v5. Dardoch's in.
Oh my God,
Holy
Stixay's
crap.
dead.
They take down Stixay first. It's a 1-for-1 so far. This could be the chase. Matt's Tempered Fate is halfway up, so they're not going to see that again in this fight.
Oh.
The Cosmic Binding just missing over the wall. And I don't know how. It's always one person and then the exit from the fight on both teams.
Stixay, please, for the love of everything, build some magic resistance. He's getting one shot here, and it could cost
Here's
them
the
the
TP.
series. The TP's coming in yet again. They do not have their 80 carry.
Lorlo goes
focus,
in. They
though.
don't know that Darshan's coming around.
Phoenix!
He's on to Phoenix. Phoenix is a huge utility factor in these fights. Piglet with the damage, the net backwards. He's getting a lot of DPS out. Matt is helping stay on his side for the peel, and now they've chosen sides. CLG pushing from the top, pushing
pushing
Team Liquid
mid.
back, and Piglet, he's left the fight. They're just trying to keep it there for the time being. Lorlo doing his damnedest, and Piglet, he'll have to back off before he grabs the inhib turret. So many calls, so many right calls, wrong calls, but they're all keeping the game even in the end, and now the chase to go coast to coast.
He's got
Darshan looking
Oh
to
my God.
he will. To not have the AD carry now coming up in this fight may just mean Baron.
The more times Team Liquid goes back to Baron, the more time CLG slowly gets some of that gold back. They're now 3,500 gold up. And oh my God.
It seems like everybody's TP is just always up.
Yeah, how many distortion? I don't think anyone actually has distortion boots except some cooldown reduction boots on a Phoenix. Anyway, now with no Piglet and no Lorlo up, I think we may finally see the Baron go down.
There's a ward in there though.
Unless Dardoch steals it.
They see Dardoch.
This would
They
be
know what he's capable of.
super risky to try.
He has to stop him.
He can't get it.
A little too early. They're going to stop and turn on to him. The smite is early. The smite goes to Xmithy. The tempered fate as well, late. CLG finally has a ball, not even the ball, in their court. One to work with here, finally. We have a goal difference.
Finally, after 20 minutes of Baron dancing, CLG seems to have a bit of an edge. The black shield at the start from there from Aframu saved him from getting initiated on. And really, look at Dayton just pile onto Piglet, and he could not get back into the fight after this.
No.
Yeah, he can't attack. Darshan is just too much threat at that point. And the target selection from TL is so rough. Huhi has become a monster on this rise, and we're seeing why it's a contested champion all across the world right now. He's just performing so well on it, and Darshan with the flank, singling out Phoenix. That was the start of the fight. It was pretty much the end of it, too.
Just on a mission. Sees Piglet here.
It's so clever. Nice ward.
Ward gets the vision on him. Easy for Darshan right there, even though Piglet had the traps down. And then they get the kill over to Stixay. He still hasn't built any magic resistance. I just want to know Magic Mantle so he won't get one shot by Phoenix.
He just wants to bring the damage to the table.
Like, at least Piglet has a Bloodthirster, so if he gets jumped on by Rise, he's got a little bit of lifesteal and overshield.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Well, then he's got Aframu's shield.
Yeah.
Magic is it?
Xmithy's ultimates in last few fights have been really good.
That's true.
And
that is true.
2 fights ago, he was able to use it, and then his maw went off, and then they didn't focus him afterwards, and he lived through the entire thing. This Banner Command minion, though, is coming up huge. It's going to be a big siege for CLG.
Yeah, this is huge. Team Liquid would have to engage.
The teleport is going to come in from Phoenix. There's too many minions to really get a good soul flare to the back line. It's really just the inner flame.
Darshan are both really low.
Nobody can block that for him. Finally, they get Xmithy down, but the Guardian Angel picks him up just a minute. The dredge line. There goes Phoenix. Matt is down. CLG looking to put the piercing pressure. Piglet. He's going hard. Piglet gets 1. He gets 2. Oh, other side of the wall. The team's not going to fall. No, he's fine. Grievous Wound applied, Grievous Wound off, and CLG stays alive. If Piglet has a chance to stay over that wall, even unpeeled, he can do some big damage. Eyes on him in these fights for sure.
And Piglet is definitely in hypercarry mode right now, but Darshan wants to kill him.
That's a little ambitious.
Oh, the double TP!
It's 2 of them, the double TP!
He only thought it was 1. He had to have only thought it was 1 TP, and he could exit that with a Caliber net.
It is nearly impossible to tell when 2 people are coming in on the same ward. You get to see the it lights up for like a fraction of a second, and I do not know a person on this earth who can read that live.
I think it is impossible.
No, it does restart. I looked at it really closely.
It does restart.
But it's almost impossible to tell. And now CLG, with the kill onto Piglet, may be able to end the game and punch their ticket to the finals.
35 seconds on Piglet. CLG may get the chance to defend that championship with 2 new members. It means a lot to Huhi. It means a lot to Stixay to get that chance. But it means a whole hell of a lot to the returning members to get back on that final stage. Counter Logic Gaming takes down Team Liquid.
The defending champions get to make the finals and defend their crown. CLG last year was their first time making the finals, and they're showing that wasn't a fluke.
And we knew that Huhi and Stixay would have to prove themselves as the damage dealers on this team. And Huhi stepped up in such a big way this game on his rise. Everyone was saying Phoenix was a better laner, but Huhi stuck strong. He came through in team fights. And that double teleport at the end to catch Piglet was genius.
It was so good. Everybody's TP just always seems to be up. Every single time.
2 sets of distortion boots at the end of that one. So not only when they teleported in did they have the home guard bonus, they got even more move speed for 3 seconds afterwards.
In a crushing moment as well, because Piglet puts a lot of pressure on himself, and he knows. And we were taken by surprise in that play, and we have eyes in the sky. So you know that has to put a lot of pressure on him that he was a final kill going into this matchup.
We can see the mini-map.
Yes.
And we didn't know it was both people teleporting.
Exactly. So you
can't
honestly,
blame him for that.
You can't.
No,
that's
not
what
at all.
we're saying. What a play to actually put the nail in the coffin there. Counter Logic Gaming. One after the other. Once they lost that first game to Team Liquid, and it looked like they had it solidified, but Team Liquid had some in the tank. And it looks like it fizzled out there at the end.
And even though we say you can't blame Piglet for that, you know he's thinking about it right now.
Absolutely.
If he would have just respected the teleport,
Absolutely.
if he would have just been a little less greedy, he wouldn't have been picked off, and they could have kept playing. or any of the other calls in that game, how Team Liquid relentlessly went back to Baron again and again and again and again. They're thinking, is there any other way they could have played that game? Could they have set up any types of split pushes? Because any small moment in that game would be Team Liquid in the finals.
Yep. It was all, we saw it multiple times throughout this series. They mirrored and matched each other, and it's who could break the constant, who could find a way around that and get that lead.
Yeah, and it even showed the clutch players on CLG able to step up in those final moments. Darshan, that TP. Darshan, the flank onto Phoenix in the previous fight. Basically, if one thing had just been different in every single fight, it was going to be a completely different game. It came down to the wire on that one.
Yeah, I mean, we're saying like, oh, who he stepped up, 6A stepped up. Damn, Darshan, 8-1-12. Once again, like his games in this series were absolutely insane. The one he had on Echo with the 25-stack Medjais, and then he goes on to Poppy. Didn't look like he was super great on the lane against the Nautilus, but playing the map, playing the team fights.
Right.
Top class.
Exactly. We talk about he's this split pusher, right? But split pushing, you love to play the map, and whether you're on a tank, whether you're not on a tank, he was still showing, I still have that same map sense. I still know how to play these fights out. I know what my job is. It doesn't really change when you're entering a team fight and trying to destroy a carry.
And what games, as CLG go on, obviously defending champs to the finals at Mandalay Bay, but to see a team of 3 rookies come up from Team Liquid to do this well this year again. Unfortunately, they play for 3-4 once again, but it's heartbreaking that they get better every year and you don't see the result at the end.
They get better, but they stay the same. So this will be the third time that they compete for, or actually they got third the last 2 times. So people talk about the Chris fourth, but they've gotten third multiple times.
Yeah, they actually won the third place game in Madison Square Garden. You just don't remember that because they were 4th place in overall standings in Missed on Worlds because of the regional qualifier. To touch back on that last game, though, like this team clearly has a big future, and you really do have to feel for this Team Liquid team for being so close yet again. Damage dealt the champions in that game. Piglet doubled Stixay's damage as an 80 carry, 44,000 versus 22,000. But at the end of the day, it's a team game. It's a strategy game. And Team Liquid's strategy in that game was one-dimensional, right? It's what CLG's fear would have been if they had a one-dimensional strategy, but all Team Liquid did is they kept going back to that well of Baron, 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 and it wasn't enough.
We'll actually see a few of those replays, this one being the top lane fight throughout the game. We'll bring
Which one is
on
this?
Your screen at the inhibitor where Piglet, I believe this is where you were saying that's Piglet going off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this fight was amazing.
Yeah, they pulled Darshan in. He's almost going down here. And Piglet, he's just trying to get the angles onto these fights without Huhi being able to root him and blow him up. And Huhi goes off to the side, finds an angle on the Phoenix after the Dark Binding.
The flash from Huhi was huge because he blows Phoenix up, but then Piglet had stayed safe throughout this entire team fight and dealt maximum damage. And this is why I kind of thought this game was going to stretch hugely, because I didn't see a way for CLG to get to Piglet. He was playing so well in these team fights. But then a few short moments later, he went to push out mid lane and got double TP'd on the same spot, which made it so he couldn't react.
And watching CLG in that, instead of kind of leaving somebody and saying this fight may be over, they just vultured it here into a next replay, the one in the mid.
Okay, so if they channel it at exactly the same time, you can't tell, but it was a little bit delayed. And he had a trap even. That's why he felt so safe. He's like, oh yeah, he'll teleport onto a trap and I'm good. 2 traps. One guy eats the trap, the other guy doesn't, and he gets on to kill him.
Outplayed.
You gotta feel so frustrated if you're Piglet. That's insane.
But
got it.
Amazing by CLG, though, to have the presence of mind to do that, to be like, now we're doing it, we're getting onto Piglet, and he stays around, and the play wins them the game.
An incredible moment to just kind of take and snap judgment, and it worked out for Chronologic Gaming. Now we are going to hand it off to Dash for a word with our winners.
Whew, thank you very much, gentlemen. I am joined by Darshan and Huhi after an intense 5-game series. Real quick, let me see the hands. Are they shaking at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit? A little bit? I mean, yeah, Huhi's like, I'm cool, calm, collected. I knew we had that one. All right, I'm coming to you first, Darshan, just because we played a feature at the beginning of the day in which you stated we are a lot of people looked at us as a different team coming into the split because we have 2 new members. They're not looking at us as the defending champions. So here you guys were looking to prove that you deserve to be back in the finals, and you get it after a hard-fought 5-game series. How does it feel to know that you're right back there to defend your title?
It honestly just doesn't even feel like we've won yet. That was just an amazing series. I want to commend Team Liquid because that was probably one of the hardest best of 5s I've ever fought. And like whenever you get to that game 5 moment, you're just like, it's not a best of 5 anymore. It's this one game that determines everything, and that pressure is huge. And they had, I think, 3 rookies on their team, and they made it all the way, like they made it to game 5 against us, and Yeah, it's just crazy to make it to the finals. I thought we were going to win. I always like to be confident, but that was really hard fought.
A tremendous series, one of the best that I've seen in NALCS 5-game series. Darshan mentions rookies on that side. You're coming in as a guy who had to watch the championship game from the sidelines last year, and here you are getting your opportunity to prove yourself as a starter, and you've made it right back into the finals with this squad. So talk to me about what winning this best-of-5 series means to you.
Winning this best of 5 means like a lot of things for me and Trevor, 6A, especially because we're the rookies. We're not like really familiar with the best of 5s. So people were like underestimating us because of the 2 rookies, in my opinion. And then I think we're proving that we can also play like really well. And then we made it to finals. So, yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. We were commenting, you definitely stepped up, and there's a lot of question marks around different lane matchups and things like that. But the Anivia pick specifically into the Rise. The double TP play, which won you guys the series between the 2 of you. Talk to me a little bit about that, Darshan. Like, where was that like a for sure call, or like where did that come from?
As soon as I backed, I was thinking about teleporting, and I was like, Jay, we can double TP mid right now, and then try and end the game. And then Jake is screaming like, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't go on Caitlyn. And then we both go through, and I don't think Piglet expected both of us to come out, so I pop out, take the trap, and then as soon as I take the trap, Caitlyn starts hitting me, and then Rise pops out too, just one-shots him, and then we win the game. And I think that's probably one of the craziest ways I've ended like a best-of-5 series, just double TP mid to surprise somebody. I definitely didn't think in a million years that's how I'd win a game.
Absolutely insane way to win a game. All of us back here were screaming at our monitors, thinking that actually only one of you were TPing. Then to see you both pop out, we're like, oh my God, that wins the game. Huhi, having seen Team Liquid, Darshan already mentioned that they were very much a formidable opponent, and props to them for taking you guys to 5 games. Having seen them 3-0 energy and kind of that very fast progression that they made in the last couple weeks of the split, and then through the 2 weeks of time that they had to prep, how did that change the way that you guys prepped, seeing them as now this new force that you really had to get through in order to go up against either Immortals or TSM in the finals?
We didn't really change how like we prepare, because when we lost to them in regular season, then when they also won versus C9, we knew that they were really good. They improved a lot, and then they were actually like top 2 team in NA, in my opinion. So we were really like, trying really hard to not like underestimate them, and then we also tried to not lose the confidence. And then, yeah, we took the best of 5.
Yep. So, Darshan, back to you. One of the big focuses in this matchup in Champion Select was the top lane meta. Really, looking at you landing that Echo for the first few games, coming up big on it, the response by Team Liquid to pick it up, and Lorlo going off on it, and then altogether banned at the end of the day. But I just want to get your thoughts on the developing top lane meta as we have trended back towards tanks, Echo looking to be the highest priority one, but that means that the likes of Fiora and Pantheon and Jack seem to have kind of fallen to the wayside.
I definitely think carries are still good, but I definitely think it's more of a tank meta right now, and I think it's hilarious that throughout the course of the split, I played a lot of carries, and people thought I could only play split pushers and things like that, and that was kind of the only style we could run, where I'm just in a side lane 1v1ing, otherwise we can't win the game. But the truth was that was, I felt at the time, the best champions to pick and the best style to run. And we played really well around that, because that's a lot harder than just picking Poppy and brute forcing. And I didn't really have a problem playing the tanks like Poppy, Echo, Maokai. I think they're pretty straightforward, a lot easier to play than some of the carries. And I just play whatever's best for our team. And tanks are stronger right now, so I'll pick those when it's better.
Yep, and that you did. Finally, you guys are playing the victor of tomorrow's game, Team Solo Mid versus Immortals. Huhi, do you have a prediction for us in terms of how that series is expected to go? And then Darshan, I'm coming to you for the final matchup and how you expect to do it on that stage. So starting here.
I think it is going to be a really close game. Like it can go like 3-2 for like both sides, but I'll give the hands up to Immortals, because I do think Reignover is like actually out jungling every jungler except Xmidi.
Ah, there it is. There's the caveat. I like it.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So
Yeah.
in favor of Immortals, but you think that it will be a close series?
Yes.
All right, well, that's good to hear because we enjoy 5-game series here at the NALCS. You guys gave us a good one. But Darshan, considering then that this prediction is correct, Immortals does come away with the victory. How do you feel you guys are going to stack up against the 17-1, the touted best team in the NALCS currently?
Well, I definitely think Immortals is still the best team in NA, and they kind of have a unique style, and we've learned a lot from playing them. And I think this is going to be our biggest test to ourselves. Like, do we deserve a chance to go to MSI and play on the big stage to be the best team in North America, or are we not good enough yet? And I think we're going to have to do a lot of work in this week if we want to clean up our play and be a strong enough team to beat Immortals, because they're really good. They've got great players, and Rainover is just a monster.
All right, well, at the end of the day, you guys have seen what it is to be in an intense 5-game series. So if it were to go to that, I have faith that you'd be cool, calm, and collected after the series today. Congratulations on the victory. We'll see you guys in Vegas for the finals. Right now, though, we're going to take an opportunity to check in with Jat, who's standing by for an interview with Liquid's jungler.
Thank you, Dash. And yes, I'm with Dardoch. And Dardoch, that series was absolutely insane. Thank you so much for interviewing us after the loss. But I mean, do you just have any immediate thoughts about that series? It must be kind of crushing to lose after being so close to win, but how do you feel?
I mean, I feel bad because we lost, but overall it was a really close series and really fun to play overall. Yeah, I'm disappointed that we're stuck to either get third or fourth, but yeah, better than our expectations at the beginning of the split, I suppose.
Yeah, and I got to say, just casting that match, it was definitely one of the best semifinal matchups I've ever seen in the North American LCS. How do you think the team feels about just like being a part of a game like that, but still coming up just barely short?
I mean, our overall mood is probably going to be down since we lost, and we have such higher expectations of the team. Like, we really expected to go to finals. We really expected to win the whole split. But, yeah, we're going to bounce back stronger. We're going to be even better in summer split.
Yeah, maybe an immediate reflection from that series. That last game was so close for so long. Is there anything that you would have liked to change, a shot call in the middle of the game, something towards the end of the game that you think could have swung it in your favor?
I should have called off us baiting around Baron and instead just sieging mid with Caitlyn and Karma. But other than that, no, I don't have that many regrets this series.
Yeah, it was definitely super close. This doesn't mean your split's over, though. There's still championship points on the line. You guys will still be going to Vegas playing in that third-place match. How are you guys going to kind of bounce back and prepare for Vegas? And who would you actually rather face between TSM and Immortals?
I don't have a preference of TSM Immortals. We're going to smash whoever we get against, but I'm pretty ready regardless. We're not going to stop. We're not going to slow down for practice just because it's like a less valuable match or anything. We're just going to meet whoever we play against, beat them, and then move on to next split.
All right, well, thank you so much, Dardoch, for this interview. It was a hell of a series, and I hope you're proud, and Team Liquid should hold their heads high. Good luck in the third, fourth place match in Las Vegas, and I'll see you there. For now, though, we're going to send it back to Dash.
Thank you very much, Jat, and absolutely Team Liquid as a squad should be holding their heads very high. I mean, these 3 rookies, along with the 2 veterans, coming in, through the middle of this split, performing as well as they did, and hey, they still have the opportunity to battle for that third place slot and move into summer as an even stronger team. I mean, given the intensity of that 5-game series, I'm going to open the floor to you guys. Final thoughts on how that ended up with CLG coming out and making a trip back to the finals.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was an incredibly close series. Both sides definitely have a lot to be proud about. And I mean, this is one of the most exciting playoff series I can remember ever in League. Like, this was nuts. Like, we were all going insane on the desk. Game 5 was like super stressful. I can't even imagine what it was like to play because I felt like I was losing my mind. So it was sick. Props to everyone involved.
Yeah, I think we said the phrase "this game is over" now like 3 or 4 times when it wasn't over yet because Darshan would just get caught, and then Baron would start, be like, oh, all right, well, Liquid's gonna close one out, and then who he gets caught is yep, Liquid's gonna close one out, and then they would just kill 2 back. Stixxy would make a sick play, or who would make a sick play and get it back in. I mean, Piglet tried his hardest. He had the most damage in the game. That last one, that guy was super stellar still as a player. Really, really, amazing. There's just so many things you can say.
Right? Yeah, it really is. Kiwi, final thoughts?
I mean, I just feel bad for Matt. I think that. Oh my gosh, there must have been so much pressure on him because they were, like Jat said, they were baited 24 times. So yeah, and every time it was with the Bartle, and man, there's just so. That must be really hard.
And that was one of those situations too where you look at the strategy and you don't necessarily find anything wrong with it, right? I mean, they were going through the motions, they were getting, and just the fights didn't. Some went in their favor, some didn't, but not enough to actually secure the Baron or take the win, and that double TP play at the
Super
end
cool.
there. I love that Darshan pointed out that was a contentious call.
Yeah.
Sure. You know, Smithy's sitting there saying, no, don't do it, because it's a potentially game-losing play as well, right? If they both somehow die, but they went for it, they get it, and that's the kind of way that you want to take a victory there in Game 5 of the semifinals. Now, this is going to tie directly into our one player that stood out from the rest and claimed our player of the series honors. That was none other than Darshan. Darshan was pivotal in CLG's first 2 wins on Echo and had a huge presence on Poppy in Game 5, including the final TP play to win the match and send CLG to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, Darshan went nuts. Like, all 3 games that they won, he was completely, carrying. Like, he was going off in all these games. He played incredibly.
Yeah, I mean, 20 KDA in the final game. Like, he almost has as much damage as the Lucian or as the Kindred on his team. And one thing that really resonated with me is I've always thought Darshan's a very smart player, but the way he talked about his champion pool, saying, look, coming into the season, I played the champions in style that I thought was best for League of Legends, which was contrary to what most people were playing. And then here he's like, look, I identified that I think the best champions are Echo and Poppy and Maokai, and so I will learn them and I will play them well and I will succeed. And so he's completely willing to pivot his style to what he thinks the correct style for the game is, even if that's not what everyone else perceives. And in this case, it is, of course.
Kiwi, can you speak to Darshan as a player? I mean, you've already have, to a degree, spoken to Darshan as a player and the way that he approaches the game of League of Legends.
Now, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Darshan who called that double TP. I don't know.
He confirmed it on the interview. He said, it was my call.
Sorry, my bad.
No worries.
But yeah, he's somebody who takes risks, and I think it's really important in this game, especially on stage, because people tend to just kind of shrivel down and they're not as bold, and he just doesn't care. And that's what I like in a player, and I think every team at least needs one person like that.
Yeah.
Just thinks outside of the box. And yeah, I mean, I played with him, so yeah, I can confirm that he definitely does that.
Well, a much-deserved player of the series honors there for him. With CLG's Game 5 win, we can fill in one more block of our playoff bracket. CounterLogic Gaming have locked in their 2nd straight appearance in the finals to defend their championship title from last summer split. They will be battling the winner of tomorrow's semifinal showdown between the #1 seed Immortals and TSM. We'll continue to fill that in after tomorrow's match. That will hit your stream starting tomorrow, immediately after the European LCS semifinal between G2 Esports and Fnatic. Real quick, I want to get your guys' thoughts on Immortals versus TSM, who he, in the interview, said he thinks it could be a very close 5-game series, just as this one was. Do you guys expect the same thing?
I feel like TSM is outmatched. I think that the advantages go to Immortals in basically every role except for mid lane.
Okay.
So I think that it's tough, right? Can they win? Yes, but is Bjergsen going to have to come up big? Yes. Or maybe Sven or someone. Sven came up really big in the quarters against C9. So if someone has plays above their normal level, yes, they can win. But in a normal game, I don't think they can.
Yeah,
Kiwi.
ran over is too good, but Svenskeren, he played so well against C9, so.
Yeah, we definitely saw the kind of the synergy develop between Bjergsen and Svenskeren. That could be something that blows up in the game.
Yeah, I would have liked to see what TSM would have been like at this level of play the whole time. Svenskeren's a guy who's been to Worlds, Yellowstar top 4 at Worlds. He was the teammate of the Houdini and Random who got top 4. So you get that level of caliber out of these players, it's a much closer game. It could be super close.
Yeah, without a doubt, Immortals is walking in as the favorite. They are the #1 seed after all, and they did go 17-1 in the regular season, but one can hope for a very close, exciting series, of course. Well, hopefully today's exciting matches will stand up to the test of time and match some of the great moments you at home submitted for your favorite Kiwi Kid moments. Lots of fans commented on the relationship between Kiwi and former teammate Cutie Pie, the banter, the laughs, and of course, the songs from Riverwind DK5. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Kiwi Pie love.
That dude was a beast on Thresh yesterday. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. But now
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're pretty in sync, and I think it came from all the Kendrick Lamar we listened to together.
There it is.
But, nah, I mean, I really like just talking to Cutie, and, we always did a lot of random stuff together, and so, we just do whatever.
And I feel like every single mic check, post-game rollout did involve the two of you in some way, shape, or form with all the shenanigans that you guys got yourselves into. Next up is a moment that I think we all remember, submitted by the Mamba Machine, pulling Dig out of the grave with the 5-man pulverizers in Game 5 of promo tournament, #Hall of Fame. Here you are.
And Kiwi Kid is only 3 autos from being killed. He's just zoned to the back line. Oh, 5-man knockup! And in they go. CLG picks up 1. They get 2. Trans can't buy enough time. 4 kills picked up for Dignitas.
Kiwi Kid with the headbutt pulverized that puts Dignitas ahead in this game. It was looking grim until that exact moment.
Yeah, I really like looking at the clip sometimes, but not for me. I just love hearing Freak's voice. He encapsulates the play. And yeah, no matter what, I think it's a little overplayed, but I can't overplay it enough for Freak. So
I mean, a game-winning
Makes me
moment,
blush.
something like that saves, you know, the series rather for Dignitas. I mean, that had to have felt good.
yeah, it felt good, and at least Trans got his revenge this year. So that's true. Yeah, I think that guy plays it a lot too. I'm sure he saved that play on his phone.
That's a very good point, one that I hadn't thought of. And you can't be, of course, in a league as long as Kiwi Kid without some in-game bloopers. Another moment we all remember from Red New Lie, rather. My favorite Kiwi Kid moment was the flash tippers on absolutely no one. It was great and definitely made everyone laugh.
Hey, come on.
Slow game. The thing is, I don't know if Gravity... Oh, there's the... What?
Not the play I was looking for.
What?
He saw a ghost. Hello?
Hey, sometimes the pressure just gets to you. You just start hallucinating.
So someone might have been recalling behind the wall.
No, I'm pretty sure somebody was recalling, but, you know, let's just pretend I was just, you know. Just
Go in the minigame during
Everyone's a troll
just
from time
Jesus
to
take the
time,
wheel.
you know?
Just like
You play that many games of League of Legends, sometimes you just got to make it
sometimes you just
interesting,
gotta
right?
slam your head on the keyboard and just hope something happens.
Hell
You know,
yeah.
I've tried that. It
That's
works
my
sometimes.
solo queue philosophy, my friend.
No, it's just someone tells you, you know, yeah, press enter twice, then type fear, and so you know, chat box out FR. Oh, I guess that
Do
was,
something. You're so
yeah, oh,
cute.
my bad.
All right, you want me to do something? Here it goes. Well, finally, we've got a tweet from fellow LCS legend Saint Vicious. This is my favorite. JK Kiwi, I love you and hope you end up well.
Because he removed that record from Saint Vicious himself, I'm pretty sure.
Was that the case? Was that who he
No, I'm
stole
making
it
it
from?
up.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
turn into a burn anyway.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh
right?
yeah, I miss dying all the time. Yeah.
Hey, having a record, right? That's more than
Yeah.
the rest of us can say.
Yep.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I got something that Bjergsen will never have, so
right,
yeah,
well,
that's I wish.
And
he
in
could
case,
prove-
in
he can
case
prove
you
you
were,
wrong.
in case you were curious, you still own that record.
Wait, are you
so
serious?
yeah, I was just informed that
Oh,
apparently
no.
you still own the record, so you
No,
can
I'm
hold
pretty sure
that.
somebody took it from me, but I've been playing. At least I won't have it for. I won't always.
Wear
have
it proud.
There's
Wear
no
that
way
badge
I'll
proud.
always have that.
Right?
I think you might have the highest individual game deaths record as well, by the way.
Well, that's taking it too far.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of records for this man.
That's true.
He's
You're right.
a legend.
So many accolades.
What? They're like anti-records. I don't want those.
All right, well, regardless to say, I want to thank Kiwi Kid for joining us and letting us bask in the warm glow of his league knowledge. For the rest of us, though, on behalf of the live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all back here tomorrow for some more League of Legends.
More League of Legends.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are hitting the playoffs now. TL looks to possibly make their way into the finals against defending champs Counterlogic Gaming.
Oh, Team Liquid's still not there.
TP in from Lorlo. He wants to eject him. Oh, it's Rendon on the way out. They say thank you very much and bye-bye.
Take it out of the fight. Take it out of the fight. I'm coming back in.
And here comes Phoenix once again. The double distortion is up. And there goes Counterlogic Gaming. And they are going to take game 1 of the series against Counterlogic Gaming.
Closer first.
Yep.
Nice. Poppy, no flash. Get in the flash.
I'm going Poppy.
I'm on Poppy. Kindred is too far from me.
I'm on Poppy.
I'm on Poppy. Closer.
Yeah.
I'm on between, guys.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. They ulted me off.
Carmen, no flash. You got him, Darshan.
I got him.
They're going to pop Dardoch immediately. There goes Matt. Next falls Phoenix. Much more definitive in the win, and they take game 2 over Team Liquid.
You ready?
Flash. Yeah, come in.
I'm the top guy.
I don't have TP right now.
Rise. I'm in the sitting.
Kill
No flash.
Kill Rise. Nice shot.
I'm on Kindred. Kill Kindred.
Sticks say a 1, 2, a third shot. He comes up with a triple. We're going 2-1 here. Match point, Counterlogic Gaming.
They're still down 5,000 gold, so even in a 45.
Whoa! That gets absolutely deleted, but huge damage from the Mantra Inner Flame. And TL will not go quietly into the night. We're going to a game 5. CLG may get the chance to defend that championship with 2 new members. It means a lot to Hui. It means a lot to Stixate to get that chance. Counter Logic Gaming takes down Team Liquid.